Life offers us lots of choices, and that's a good thing. The challenge, however, is making life-giving choices, whether the path is clear, uncertain, or on the cutting edge. In today's readings, both Joshua and Jesus speak about decision points or choices on our faith journey. This morning, I want to talk about the importance of choosing God's way in the ordinary moments of our lives, and how discernment is an essential part of our choice. Let's begin with discernment, a decision-making process. When we face a significant decision, it's important to weigh all the factors related to it, including those in the physical, emotional, psychological, and spiritual dimensions. We then need to move from thought to prayer. As we prayerfully contemplate all these aspects and listen to our heart before coming to a decision. Discernment helps us arrive at a life-giving decision so that we might live God's way. It's important to remember that discernment is done not only by individuals, but also by groups. A group discernment occurred during World War II in the French village of Le Chambon-sur-Lignon, and the entire community protected thousands of Jews and others who were persecuted. Under the guidance of pastors André Trocmé and Edouard Tay, residents risked their lives as they provided housing, meals, clothing, and false papers. Elizabeth Kaufman, a former child refugee in Le Chambon, said this: "Nobody asked who is Jewish or not. They just accepted each of us, taking us in with warmth." In the midst of extreme danger, this French community chose to follow God's way. I now want to share 3 examples of individuals choosing God's way. The first is related to a visionary on the cutting edge. Last month, the Philadelphia Inquirer paid tribute to Jim Brennan, who had died recently and was well known in the Philadelphia area. Jim was the original St. Joseph's University Hawk mascot. Now, does anybody know what makes this mascot unique? Go ahead, Paul, tell us. Do you know? That's right. He never stops flapping his wings or her wings in the middle of a basketball game. So, Jim Brennan was on the cutting edge, not only in starting this tradition at St. Joe's, but also in his business career. For 30 years, he was director of community and public relations at Hill Haven nursing homes across the country. His innovative spirit brought life to nursing home residents. In 1980, he introduced the Ho Ho Hotline, where the residents were Santa's helpers, posing as Santa and Mrs. Claus and answering telephone calls from the children. He began Adopt the Resident programs that connected staff and residents and encouraged bowling tournaments in the hallways and ponies as comfort animals. I wouldn't mind being there. Jim also spoke to groups about healthcare issues and lobbied for increased government funding for nursing home care. In his family's words, he was known for bringing creativity and joy to nursing home residents and transforming the public perception of nursing homes. Jim Brennan made life-giving choices that reflected God's way of love and joy in his time as a hawk at St. Joseph's University and as an advocate for the elderly in the many years he worked in business. Let us each ask ourselves, how is God calling us in our place of work, in service opportunities, and in our families to make life-giving choices? Our next example is about Sharon Taylor, a teacher who discerned her career choice well. Dr. Taylor was inducted this past spring into the Arts and Achievers Hall of Fame by the Springfield Area Education Foundation. Sharon, who is now 91 years old, was an extraordinary teacher in the Springfield School District for over 30 years and was much beloved by her students. As a quick aside, before starting teaching at the high school level, she taught my brother-in-law, Luke, as a 6th grader. Luke is now 76. He said she made such a difference in his life. He had been acting out, but she got him on the right path and made him feel good about himself. In her acceptance speech, Sharon said she wanted to be clear that she was being honored as a teacher, not for who she was as an individual. She went on to say that she felt she was meant to be a teacher, that it was a calling for her. In her words, I wanted to teach the students that they had strength and worth. Prior to the ceremony, one of her students wrote to congratulate her, saying, "Thank you for telling me I was smart and had self-worth, and for looking at my potential." Sharon Taylor gave life to many students through her encouragement and her belief in their worth and potential as human beings. Her life-giving choice to become a teacher and make a positive difference in many lives has surely followed God's way. Let us all ponder, how can we make a positive difference as we greet people, converse with others, or offer guidance? The last example is a brief personal story. When we were in Colorado last month, celebrating my 70th birthday, I was prompted by my daughter's question to reflect on what 70 years of living has taught me. I wrote down 9 nuggets of wisdom that I hope to bring into the future. Although I shared all 9 with our children, I want to mention just 2 here. One is play every day. I know we all need to work, but I believe we all need to play every day. Along the way, I have discovered that I was born to play. So I make sure, that's my real calling, I gotta tell you. So I make sure I play every day and share that gift with others. When I discerned the need to play, it was directly related to good self-care and healthy self-love, all part of choosing God's way. The other nugget is follow your heart. Never let a rule, money, education, prejudice, or anything else get in the way of following your heart. I came to fully realize this when I chose to leave the institutional church and create a new path in the Catholic tradition with all of you. But it goes for any path we are called to follow. Listen to your heart and follow it, even when it's challenging. When I finally discerned my call to priesthood and chose to say yes, I found true inner freedom, precious and sacred gift. I invite each of us to ponder the nuggets of wisdom our own life has taught us. Choose to live them, knowing that God is embodied in each one. This week, continue to reflect on how God is calling us to make life-giving choices in our families, places of work, neighborhoods, and nation. Let us be, in today's words from Hafiz, people so true that our lives are God's covenant, the promise of hope.